This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's number one show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined with my buddy Nate. We're going to break down this game. It's the Knicks play at 1 p.m. And I do want to remind all of my channel members that you can join the watch-along. We're having a watch-along at 1 p.m. All right, so make sure that you join it. It's only for channel members. I'm putting the link in the chat right now so that you can access and be part of the watch-along. All right, so I'm putting the link in the chat right now. Make sure you join us there, ladies and gentlemen. But the Knicks play the Cleveland Cavaliers, and yes, we all know it. The New York Knicks are officially eliminated from the play-in, the playoffs, anything that has to do with winning a championship. The New York Knicks are eliminated from it, ladies and gentlemen. They're done. It's a done deal. Because of that, Julius Randle shut down for the season. And, of course, the hopes are that you're going to get to see what Obi can really do over these last 5 games. You know, I mean, it's still a short, small sample size, but you get a chance to see Obi Toppin over these last 5 games. Hopefully, Miles McBride, he's upgraded to probable. I think he was at one point, you know, maybe questionable. He's upgraded to probable for today's game, not tonight's game, for today's game. I said, let's go ahead and get in here and get this one going, man. You know, the Cleveland Cavaliers have been a tough task for the Knicks all season long. They've played them twice. The Knicks don't match up well. We're going to break this one down. Nate, what's going on with you, man? It's been a while since I've seen you. You know what I mean? But I'm glad you're here. Glad you're healthy. What's going on with you?
Yeah, man, it's good to be back, man. Once the Knicks got eliminated, I'm like, all right, I'll probably get back on the show. I mean, it's just been a tough season for me to watch. You know, I've never seen a team implode so quickly and so short in a short time period. It's just been a mess, and so I'm anxious to see these next 5 games to see how the young guys play and, you know, see if they're going to be part of the future for this team. I mean, that's really what these 5 games should be about. I mean, yeah, you want to win, but at this point, I just want to see the young guys ball out and play well against good NBA competition.
Right.
And see if they're ready for next year. I mean, that's really what it's all about.
Yeah, we will see exactly how the New York Knicks decide to go forward. All right. We'll see how they decide to go forward. Let's take a look at the injury report. And this is the injury report as of 10:30 a.m. So I'm actually going to try to pull up a new one just in case there's been any changes. All right. We do know that Julius Randle is out for the remainder of the season with a sore quad. You know, so he came back for one game. I guess, you know, they decided, hey, let's bring it back. And if we win, because if the Knicks would have won, they would have stayed in it until Atlanta won, right? Because, you know, at some point, somebody's got to, you know, it's got to dwindle its way down. But, you know, with Atlanta winning and the Knicks in it, you know, that was it. Miles McBride is out today. Okay, so that's upgraded. That's updated on the report. So I'm going to pull this injury report over. Now, at one point, Miles McBride was probable. Now he's out. Okay, so Miles McBride is out tonight or today. I keep saying tonight. Today. All right, so I'm going to update it on the scroll that's going across your screen. And, you know, if I get a chance, I'll update the graphic. You know, may not need to update the graphic. Julius Randle's out. Quentin Grimes is out. Of course, Cam Reddish, Nerlens Noel, and Derrick Rose is out. All right, so, you know, that's big for Miles McBride because this, hopefully he's able to make it back for the next game and, you know, get the playing time that he deserves to get coming down the stretch of the season. Just 5 games left to the season. All right, but of course, the big news is that Julius Randle is out. Obi Toppin's going to eat up all of those minutes. So now Obi Toppin can get 40 minutes. And we'll see exactly what he's able to do in 40 minutes. All right, now for the Cleveland Cavaliers, they have a number of players out as well. Jared Allen, he's out. All right, with a fractured finger. Evan Mobley is out. Rajon Rondo is out. Of course, Colin Sexton is out. So they have a number of guys out as well. All right, of course, they're fighting for playoff position. You know what I mean? So this is a really good, pretty much a good situation for the young Knicks that are going to be playing today. You know what I mean? For RJ, for Obi, for Quickly. It's a good situation for them because they're battling a team today who is fighting to actually try to get into the playoffs. They are currently 3 games behind the Toronto Raptors. All right, they need every win. Obviously, the Toronto Raptors, they want to stay in that 6th spot. The Cleveland Cavaliers are in the 7th spot. All right, it might be a long shot, but hey, they're going to keep fighting to try to get into that 6th spot. And of course, that's the magic number, 6. Because if they're in the 6th spot, they're automatically in the playoffs. They don't have to fight for a play-in spot. Because right now, the way it looks, they're either going to be playing the Brooklyn Nets or the Charlotte Hornets. All right, if you're playing the Brooklyn Nets in that first round of the play-in, it's tough. The good thing for the Cleveland Cavaliers, since they're in that 7th spot, and most likely stay in that 7th spot, they'll be somewhere between 6, 7, and 8. If they're in 7 or 8, they get 2 chances to get into the playoffs. Now, they've lost 2 in a row. They've lost 4 of their last, they've lost 6 of their last 10. So we'll see exactly what they do today and how they approach today's game. But it's a good situation for these young Knicks to play against a team that's battling for playoff position. All right, because they're not going to be mailing it in. All right, the projected starting lineups for tonight for the New York Knicks: Alec Burks, Evan Fournier, R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Mitchell Robinson. That's the projected starting lineups. We'll see if there's any changes. There may be some changes due to the fact that the Knicks are out. Maybe Emmanuel Quickly gets to start. Who knows? We'll see. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, you got Darius Garland, Isaac Okoro, Caris LeVert, Lauri Markkanen, and Moses Brown. All right. Nate, looking at these starting lineups right here, what are your thoughts, okay, on just the lineups overall, the Knicks, and then the Cleveland Cavaliers, and then we'll get into the matchups. But before I do that, I do want to remind everybody once again, we got the watch along at 1 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to put the link in the chat right here. For those who are members, we'd love to see you. Watch along. Join us. Talk basketball. Andy will be there. Maybe a few other people jump in. I'm pinning the link to the top of the chat. And if you're a member, you'll have access to that link. All right. Nate, go ahead, man. Your thoughts on the roster as it is right now. And we'll look and find out if it's going to remain this way, the starting lineups, or will there be some changes on the New York Knicks side?
You're talking about the Knicks side?
Well, I mean, you can start with the Knicks side. You go to the Cleveland side. Just your thoughts.
Yeah. So the Knicks side, I don't want to see players playing 30 plus minutes. I mean, I really want to see Tibbs utilize the whole roster because, like I said, this is evaluation time. You got live games. You've got 5 games against possibly, I don't know, the last 5 teams are playing.
What roster are you talking about?
Huh?
What roster are you talking about? They don't have
whoever's left over. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, whoever's left over is like 8 or 9 players. They're all playing.
Okay.
They're all playing. So
what I'm saying is, I don't want to see them playing 30. I don't want to see somebody playing 30 minutes. I want to see them being spread out. Now, obviously, Obi's probably going to play a lot because, outside of Taj and Obi, they're probably going to split at least some parts. But I'm pretty sure Obi's going to play a lot more.
Yeah, I want to see Obi play 35 to 40 minutes.
I do too, yeah. Okay.
RJ, of course, is going to play. So you're going to see some guys play that many minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm talking about Alex Burks or Fournier. I mean, I'd rather see.
Listen, this is the roster for today. This is the roster for today. I'm going to read off the roster for today. RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson, Alec Burks, Evan Fournier, Jericho Sims, Emmanuel Quickly, Taj Gibson.
Okay,
now,
then never mind. My bad. I'm sorry.
I mean, you got like
I didn't know where I looked all our players.
You got like 8 players.
I thought we had some people sitting on the bench that weren't playing.
Yeah, I mean, will those guys get in? We'll see. Maybe they will. Archdiakono was there. He might get in and play some minutes.
Oh, Diakonu? Yeah, Diakonu.
Right.
I forgot about that, Diakonu. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, it's going to be a good evaluation period for the Knicks brass and Tibbs to look and see what pieces are going to be going forward for next year. Obviously, the Cavs have had some significant injuries, losing Rubio, losing Mobley getting hurt, Jared Allen getting hurt. So the Knicks front court should have an advantage over the bigs for the Cavs. But the Cavs are a sneaky good team, man. I mean, Lauri Markkanen's playing well. Garland is phenomenal. I mean, Okoro's solid. I mean, LeVert can score. I mean, they got a good team. I mean, they were one of my favorite teams to watch this year before all the injuries. That's why I think they fell so far in the playoff seeding, because they were 4th at one point and they were gelling really well. And then Allen goes down, then Mobley goes down. They haven't played with Sexton all year, so I mean, they got a loaded team.
Yeah,
I'm anxious to see how they fare in the playoffs if they get in.
I don't think Sexton is going to be back. To be honest with you,
I agree.
Something's going to happen there, but
yeah.
So I don't even look at him as part of, what they're doing going forward. You know what I mean?
But I mean, he was a 22-point scorer before he got hurt. I mean, I'm just saying, you take a 22-point scorer out and they still get the 4th seed. That says a lot about that team and the talent they have.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, Chicago started off high as well. And they, during the season, I think you kind of fall where you belong, most likely during the season. We'll see what they can do in the playoffs. They're a young team that, is learning how to play. And then we'll see what happens next year, too. You see what happened with the Knicks this year. People figured out what they do. We'll see what happens with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, honestly, I hope they fall because they're in the same conference as the Knicks. So I want the Knicks to have the best chance next year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But good luck to those guys anyway. Looking at the matchups, though, I really do hope that Emmanuel Quickly gets a start over Alec Burks. I'd like to see him in that starting lineup these last 5 games to see what it looks like as it is. You have Alec Burks and Darius Garland. Darius Garland is playing tremendous basketball. All right, Alec Burks hasn't been playing bad basketball. All right, he's been playing good basketball over the last few games. But Darius Garland, man, he's hooping it up, and he's an all-star this year. You know what I mean? He's looking like a future star point guard in the NBA. You know what I mean? What's your thoughts on that matchup? And there's a report out there that the Cleveland Cavaliers plan to sign Darius Garland to a max contract. I want to talk about that a little bit, but first talk to me about that matchup.
It's going to be tough for Alec Burks. I mean, foot speed right there by itself. Darius Garland is very hard to guard. And, kudos to Alec Burks, man. He's been outmatched in every point guard position most of the times. He just doesn't have that kind of foot speed to match these. He's got the size and length, but I mean, he's going to do what he can. The problem is that, I mean, stop me if you heard this before, we're weak at the point guard position. Point guard. So the reality is that Garland can hoop, and Burks' best defense is just going to have to keep in front of him as best he can.
Right.
Or they'll have to blitz him. Blitz him and leave somebody else open and just try to get out there. But it's going to be hard. He's one of the top tier point guards coming up, and they're right to give him the max money. He's worth it. He's balling out this year with Sexton no longer in the picture. He's taking advantage of it. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, okay. Do me a favor, Nate. Your microphone kind of clicked to different sounds. I want you to go into the mic settings and make sure that it's clicked to. If you have a headset on, make sure that the mic settings are clicked to that headset. All right. And right now I got you muted. I'll get you back on as soon as you let me know you're ready. But Darius Garland, ladies and gentlemen, there's a report that Darius Garland is going to receive a max contract, or that the Cleveland Cavaliers plan to sign Darius Garland to a max contract. All right. So, this leads right into R.J. Barrett. Okay. Now, Darius Garland has, he's had a tremendous year this season. He's averaging 21.5 points, 3 rebounds, 8.7 assists per game. He's shooting 46% from the field. He's shooting 37% from three. His team is 42-35. They're the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. They're probably going to make the playoffs. Right? What's that say? How does it set a market for R.J. Barrett? Because, of course, the conversation is, should R.J. Barrett receive a max contract for the New York Knicks? Okay. I don't know if it sets a market. I mean, it does set a market. And I think, in my opinion, it kind of says, maybe you're just below a max extension. In my opinion, right? Because although the Knicks made the playoffs last season, R.J. Barrett's yet to make a all-star team. His shooting percentages aren't the same, So I think maybe it says, you're just a little bit below a max contract or something like that, or a max extension. We'll see how that works out. But, with Darius Garland receiving a max extension, I'm pretty sure it helps to set a market for R.J. Barrett. You know what I mean? Which, I think it helps everybody. It helps the Knicks. It helps R.J. Barrett. It helps everybody. It helps his agent to figure out, what exactly should the Knicks be looking to pay R.J. Barrett, and how should they be negotiating? All right, Nate.
Hey man, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I mean, I could hear you before. I was just saying it kind of switched around.
My headset just dropped, man. I don't know what the heck happened.
But
just my luck. Go ahead.
But do you think this Darius Garland, if the Cleveland Cavaliers give Darius Garland a max contract, does it help set the market for for R.J. Barrett?
Yeah, it does, because I think R.J. Barrett's career so far has probably been better than Darius Garland. I think Darius Garland's having a breakout year, but I think, R.J. Barrett's played more consistently. It's tough, man. I mean, I've been on record saying with R.J. Barrett.
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Darius Garland, throughout his career, 17 points a game, 6 assists, shooting 44% from the field, 47% from three, 87.8% from the free throw line. That's for his career.
Yeah, but he hasn't really popped till this year. I mean, I guess you could say RJ maybe so too. I mean, RJ, maybe they're kind of the same.
They're kind of, as far as career averages, they're kind of the same. As far as career averages, they've both been in the league for 3 years. Darius Garland's made the All-Star team in his 3rd year. Obviously, a lot of that is due to the success of the Cleveland Cavaliers, but the shooting percentages tell a story. First of all, he has the accolade of being an All-Star, which RJ doesn't yet. Whether or not that's his fault, that's one thing. But the shooting percentages, you can attribute that straight to RJ.
Oh, yeah.
Darius Garland shoots 46% from the field and 37% from three. For his career, he shoots 37% from the three-point line and 44% from the field.
Wow.
Okay. So it's a little bit different for RJ. All right. RJ's in his 3rd year. He's averaging 17 points a game. He's averaging 17 a game. 5 rebounds.
I guess they are identical, man. Well, it just seemed like to me RJ had a little bit of leg up over Garland. It's not by that much, but
yeah, but for his career, for RJ's career, he's averages 17.5 a game, 5.6 assists, 5.6 rebounds, 2.8 assists, shoots 42% from the field and 36% from three for his career. So that's not too much below Darius Garland, and he's shooting 70% from the free throw line. We'll see. I think it does help set something. I think it does help set something. You know what I mean? And, their numbers are pretty similar from their rookie years to their 3rd year. So that's going to be interesting to see.
I mean, if Cleveland said they're going to give him a max deal, that's exactly what they say. Like I said, I've been on record. I don't want to give the full max to RJ. I want to give him a good bump, and let him kind of try to get those numbers up on the shooting side. But I'm just not wanting to give the full max, man. We have a lot of issues we got to figure out in this team.
Well, I mean, there's some issues. I don't think RJ's one of them.
True.
I'm not saying that he should get the full max extension, but there's issues with the team. I don't think RJ's one of the issues, though.
I agree.
I
agree.
I think he's
been one of the brighter sides of this team this year.
He's part of the solution. You know what I mean? Then you got Evan Fournier and Isaac Okoro, if that's exactly going to be the matchup. Isaac Okoro is a defensive guy. Evan Fournier, obviously, is an offensive guy. So you're seeing guys on two different sides of the spectrum. That should be a fun matchup to watch because I don't think Evan Fournier has to worry about Isaac Okoro scoring up a storm. Now, he's a guy that can get out on the break, and he can make some shots from time to time. But I don't think Evan Fournier really has to worry like that. But he's a good defender, and Evan Fournier, I think, has to make sure that the Knicks have to use Evan Fournier the right way, set screens for him, try to get him free, get him open from the three-point line, and I think they will. Then my matchup of the night is R.J. Barrett and Isaac Okoro. Right, that's the matchup of the night right there. I mean, I'm sorry, R.J. Barrett and Karis LeVert.
I was about to say, Okoro's going too?
All right, R.J. Barrett, Karis LeVert. That's the matchup. Yeah. And I got some numbers up here that's a little bit funny. Okay, R.J. Barrett versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, 15 points a game, 4 rebounds, 2.5 assists, shoot 41.4% from the field, 10% from three, and 50% from the free throw line. Karis LeVert, actually, this is LeVert's numbers for the season, not versus the Knicks, but for the season, he's averaging 17.3 points per game, 3.7 assists, 3.7 rebounds, 4.2 assists, shoot 44.2% from the field, 32.5% from the three-point line. He also shoots 75.1% from the free throw line. Right now, obviously, R.J. Barrett is playing much different right now. Okay, this is what he's done versus Cleveland. And I like to do, their matchups versus that specific team because you can give a player's matchups, their numbers for the season all you want. But against a specific team, they may drop 30 every time they play that team because of the matchup, or they may struggle every time they play that team because of the matchup. That's why I like to say what they've done versus that team. Now, obviously, R.J. Barrett versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, they haven't always had Karis LeVert on the team. He hasn't always matched up with him. He's matching up with him today. RJ, and it's a different team. No Julius Randle. RJ is the guy. He is the guy. Okay, so it's definitely different for RJ Barrett this time around. I think RJ Barrett gets, 24, 25 points. He's averaging 20 points, over 20 points, a couple percentage points over 20 points for the first time in his career. And I think he plans on staying there. In order for him to do that, he's going to, he'll need to begin his seasons hot. RJ always starts slow. He'll need to begin his seasons hot. And if he can do that, this guy might average 22, 23 points a game. Okay, because he started the season, the first half of the season, he was averaging 17. Now he's averaging 20. He raised it 3 points. Just imagine if he starts the season the way he finished off this season. Shoot, this guy could average 24, 25 if he does that. So I expect RJ Barrett to, probably get 24, 25 points today. I keep saying today. And then LeVert, I think he'll probably, for the Cleveland Cavaliers, he's been averaging 13. I would say he'd probably get his average. But this is your Thrive Fantasy matchup of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Please use the link in the description of this video and use the code NBK to get a 100% deposit of your 100% match of your first deposit up to $100. But this is your Thrive Fantasy matchup of the night. RJ Barrett versus Karis LeVert. Good matchup. RJ Barrett's going to have to play defense. Okay, he can't mess around with the guy. But I think RJ Barrett wins the matchup. He's the focal point of this basketball team right now, so I think he wins the matchup. Your thoughts, Nate?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, RJ Barrett is playing out of his mind right now. The funny thing is, you said that, like he has to take that step as being the dude because Randall's out. I would argue that the second half of the season, RJ has been the dude.
No,
and Randall's been more.
I didn't say he had to take the step. He's been taking the step. That's why I said he's been. He went from averaging 17 to 30.
Yeah.
I mean to 20 a game. You know what I mean? That's a big jump. He's been the guy.
Absolutely, yeah. This is RJ's team. This is RJ's team, and the thing is that the one thing I really do love that I have seen him do a lot more that I've been very impressed with is he takes his guys off the dribble now and he gets into the paint. And I think he realizes that he's not the greatest shooter right now, so he needs to get buckets when he can, and it's either at the free throw line or it's getting into the paint. And I love that. I think that's I've been saying that for the longest time. He's got to score easy ways, so that basket looks a lot bigger when he tries to shoot it. And he's been doing that. And I think that's one of the big reasons why he's been successful and his points have gone up.
Yeah.
Because he's getting buckets in easier ways rather than just shooting the ball, which is that's not a strength right now.
Right. Big shout out to Joseph Chavez. He said, I got the Knicks blowing out the Cavs. RJ and Obi are definitely going to have a good night. Book it. Let's see, because Obi Toppin is facing off against Lauri Markkanen. That's not going to be easy for Obi Toppin.
2 stretch fours.
It's not going to be easy because Lauri Markkanen, they're 2 stretch fours. I agree. They're both stretch fours. But Lauri Markkanen plays the game differently, right? He can put the ball on the floor. He's way more efficient from the three-point line than Obi Toppin. He can post up a little bit. He can do some things that Obi Toppin does not do at the moment. All right? Obi is still very much a rim runner. Every once in a while, you see him do a post move. It's not really a crazy post move. It's basically, I'm going to dribble you down, and then drop step to the basket. But you know what? When he does it, it's successful. So I'd like to see him do it more. He's shown that he can throw a quick pump fake, take 1 or 2 dribbles, and pull up the mid-range. Okay, from time to time, he can go to the basket. I want to see Obi Toppin continue to expand his offense. He's going to get the chance over these last 5 games playing 40 minutes or so, 35 to 40 minutes, I think. He'll get a chance.
I want to see the defense.
I
want to see his defense against Lauri.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because of the way that Lauri Markkanen plays. And, of course, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're going to use a lot of screen and roll, so it's not always going to be Obi Toppin on Lauri Markkanen. They're going to try to get Lauri, matched up against RJ or Evan or Alec or Emmanuel quickly if he's in the game because they're smaller guards. Well, not because they're smaller guards, because they're smaller players. Emmanuel Quickly's a smaller guard. Evan Fournier, Alec Burks, RJ Barrett, they're all 6'7", 6'6", 6'7". Still, Lauri Markkanen, 6'10", 11, whatever he is.
Yeah.
If they can switch and get him on one of those guys and then let him operate in the post a little bit, shoot over top of him, that's what they'll try to do. Okay, but when they're matched up one-on-one, I think it's a tough task for Obi defensively, but also with Lauri, he has some holes in his defense as well, and I think Obi Toppin can exploit that. Right? I think you can get Obi Toppin going to the basket for some alley-oops. Obviously, in transition, Obi Toppin can get it going. So it's also going to be tough for Lauri Markkanen. Even though they play contrasting styles of basketball, it's going to be tough for both. I'm going to give it to Lauri Markkanen because I think he's just more efficient from the field. But I wouldn't be surprised if Obi Toppin wins the matchup either. And when I say more efficient from the field, I'm talking about, in his ability to shoot the three, shoot the mid-range, a little bit more than Obi Toppin does. But with Obi Toppin being out there, not having to look over his shoulder, not worrying about coming off the floor like that, you may see these next 5 games, you may see an expanded version of Obi Toppin, and I'm interested to see what it looks like. And I'm sure the Knicks brass are as well.
Hey Sim, I haven't really seen a lot of the Knicks games. I just kind of look it on my phone. Has Obi worked on some of that mid range at all? Because I really feel like, man, if he could really get some mid range shots down, get more
Well,
confident with that shot.
I mean, not really. The thing is, he's going to have the
Okay.
time to now. I'm sure he's
Yeah.
worked out. Listen, I'm sure he's worked on it in practice. He's going to have some time now to actually put it in action, put it in the
Man,
game.
I hope so, man. That could be game changer for him, man. If he could
You
get a
know,
mid range down.
but the mid range is not just okay. He has the ability to pump fake and go by somebody and pull it up. Does he have the ability to face up against somebody and jab, step, pull, 1-2 dribbles, pull?
Oh, he's got to work on his footwork.
You know what I mean? So, that there's two different, a couple different types of mid-range pull-up because you may not always get the chance to pump fake and go
Yeah.
around somebody.
But if he could just make himself a threat, I guess that's what I'm saying.
Uh,
Give himself more of an offensive threat, like we want our bigs to be so much.
I get it.
So to make it easier for the defense.
Right. I mean, I think listen, he has the ability to score, not on his own right now, really. Most of the time, it's
Right.
going to be somebody else helping him, feeding him the ball. Mitchell Robinson versus Moses Brown. I'm expecting Mitchell Robinson to win this matchup. Okay, but in his last game, Moses Brown had 15 points and 13 rebounds. In 26 minutes, he shot 5 of 7 from the field. He was 5 of 6 from the free throw line, right? He's not really a three-point threat. He's tall, 7'2", 245 pounds, 22 years old. Now, he's averaging 3.6 points and 2.7 rebounds per game on the season. Okay, but his last two games, he's put up some decent numbers. Like I said, 15 and 13 versus Atlanta, and then versus Dallas, 12 points and 9 rebounds. Okay, so, let's not underestimate this kid. I do think Mitchell Robinson's going to have maybe the strength advantage over the kid. Okay, although he is 245 pounds tall, 7'2", 245 pounds, that's going to be interesting to watch. Two young guys, Mitchell Robinson, not much older than Moses Brown. I'm expecting Mitchell Robinson to win the matchup. I'm not going to put it past Moses Brown, though. I'm not going to put it past Moses Brown, with the numbers that he's been playing hot the last two games, and he's going to try to continue that level of play. All right, on the bench, we talked about the Knicks bench a little bit. The bench for the Cleveland Cavaliers, excuse me. Kevin Love coming off the bench. Cedi Osman. Brandon Goodwin, who is a capable point guard. But you really got to look out. Obviously, Kevin Love can get hot from the three-point line. He can rebound the ball. Maybe not as much this season, but he knows how. Well, he's averaging 7.2 rebounds, 13.3 points, 7.2 rebounds this season. You don't want that guy to get loose. He's an old guy, but he can get loose on you and knock down some threes. Cedi Osman, his last game, he had 21 points. Obviously, he's a guy that can score off the bench. He averages 11 points per game off the bench. For the Knicks, you got Emmanuel Quickley. I was about to say Obi Toppin. You don't got Obi Toppin. You got Emmanuel Quickley, Taj Gibson, and Jericho Sims. Those are going to be the main guys coming off the bench. Maybe you get to see some other guys get a couple of minutes here and there. But the Knicks aren't going to have a lot of scoring off the bench if Emmanuel Quickley's not hot. Jericho Sims, Taj Gibson, who knows what they're going to give you. So it's really about Emmanuel Quickley giving you a punch off the bench. Now, obviously, you're still going to have probably Obi and RJ playing with those guys off the bench. Unless the Knicks decide that they're going to, start an entirely different lineup. Then your bench would look pretty much different if they decided to do that. Got about 4 minutes till game time, ladies and gentlemen. I do want to remind you that at 1 o'clock, I'll be doing a watch along for members of the channel. Those who are members, I'm doing a watch along. I'm putting a link in the chat. Okay, so that you can. Yes, Ryan may play. G-Dubs. Ryan may play. We'll see. I'm putting a link in the chat, so please make sure that you get to that link at 1 o'clock and join us. If you're a member, join us, ladies and gentlemen. We want to see you there so we can talk about the game. Andy's going to be in the building. All right. Now, I'm looking on the Knicks Twitter to see if they've made any announcements about the starting lineup because I'm interested to see if they make any changes. Haven't seen any announcements yet.
I'd be shocked if they did.
Okay. Although I do see a picture of Quentin Grimes shooting around. I don't know if that means he's going to, things are going to switch or not. He's just in his Knicks T-shirt. You know what I mean? So he's obviously, getting up some shots. I don't know if that means he's going to play or not. And it'd be nice for him to play so that, if he's healthy, play. If he's not healthy, obviously he can't play. All right? Yeah. All right, let's look at the team comparison. These two teams this season, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they lead 2-0. All right, they've outscored the Knicks 110 to 101 over the first two games. There was one close. One of the games was close. One of the games was a blowout. First game was a blowout. They've been out-rebounding the Knicks 49-48. More assists than the Knicks, 30-21. The Knicks get more steals, 10 to 7.5 for the Cavs. More blocks, 5 to 1.5. The Cavaliers turn the ball over a lot versus the Knicks. 18.5 turnovers a game versus the Knicks. The Knicks just 11.5 turnovers. The Knicks shoot 44% from the field. The Cavs 49. The Cavs 45.1% from three. The Knicks 30.4. That's a big story right there.
That's huge.
And then the Knicks are shooting 73.3% from the free throw line, while the Cavs are shooting 67.7% from the free throw line. All right. What immediately jumps out to me are the turnovers for the Cavaliers. The Knicks must capitalize on those turnovers. And then the field goal percentage. The field goal percentage. That's the reason why the Cavaliers have 30 assists. The field goal percentage makes a big difference. 49% from the field, 45% from three. The Knicks, 30% from the field, 44%, 30% from the three-point line, and 44% from the field. Makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. The Knicks must capitalize, ladies and gentlemen, on those turnovers, though. All right, so my keys to the game: play with space and pace and movement. All right, if you do that, you give yourself a better success of having a higher field goal percentage. Capitalize off turnovers, man. The Cleveland Cavaliers are averaging 18.5 turnovers versus the Knicks. Capitalize on it. I think rebounding is going to be big for the Knicks. With Julius Randle out, he's the leading rebounder for the New York Knicks. Obi's got a rebound. Mitch has got a rebound. Jericho's got a rebound. We need some guards to help rebound the ball. The Knicks are going to win this rebounding battle, which they've been losing. They're going to win it. You need these guys to get big on the boards, right? I want to see Obi. He may be the next power forward, starting power forward for the Knicks. We don't know if this is Julius Randle's last game or not. We don't know what's in the mind of the team brass. Julius Randle says he wants to play extended years here with the New York Knicks. We'll see if the front office wants him to play extended years here. But if Obi wants to prove to them that he can be the starting power forward, he's got to score, rebound, and play defense. The Knicks must play that good half-court defense, good transition defense. Don't let Cleveland get out and run. All right, they got some young legs too. We don't want them getting out and running, then execute down the stretch. If it comes down the stretch, you got to execute. You may be playing with a lot more young guys down the stretch. It's good for them to learn how to execute. Nate, real quick, so that we can get out of here to the game, just tell me your keys, man, then we're going to rock.
I mean, play. I agree with the capitalize on the turnovers, guard the three-point line, and then just let the young guys just ball out. Just go out and play hard, and let the chips fall where they fall.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm heading out. Please make sure that you join us. Join us for the watch along if you are a member. The link is in the chat. I also just pinned it to the top of the YouTube chat once again. I'm heading over there right now. All right. So make sure you join us there And, yeah, we can get this thing popping, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you after the game for the post-game show. See what we got to talk about. I'm out. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.